It is 1:20. Um, Creamy. Let's see. There you go. Thank you for that, by the way. Um, I want to talk to you guys about something important. This is going to be one of the I think this is probably the second time I've talked about something that's not MSC related in this Discord. Um, I want to say that I feel the need to talk about something that has nothing to pertain to me whatsoever, just because I feel like that this needs to be spoken, and I think that this needs to be talked about. So I want to make this explicitly known now that this has nothing to do with me, nor does it have anything to do with the MSC. So I want to make sure that this is known to everyone in here, and that the only real reason why I'm talking to you about this because we have to speak about this as a community. Um, and I don't want any people pinging me. Respectfully, I can't stop you from not pinging me, but I ask you to be polite and not ping me. I am not well. I am sick. Okay, I am sick physically, so please bear with me. I am not well. And this topic isn't going to make me feel any better, but again, just please bear with me and please respect that I'm not feeling well. I want to talk to you about the document that supposedly claims that Vin is a pedophile, and I want to talk to you about a larger issue within this community. First, we'll start with the document. This document claims that Vin is a pedophile and that his victim is Piper. If you are not aware, Vin and Piper are dating. Okay, Vin and Piper are dating. This is not a surprise to anyone who has been in Impulse for a while. Piper is 16, Vin is around 19 to 20 years old. They are dating. Vin has no problem with the relationship, and Piper has no problem with the relationship. How do I know this? I asked them. Okay. Piper has been blocking people who have been messaging him in the last couple of minutes regarding this document, and Vin is. I can imagine having to do the same. I haven't asked him, but I can imagine he'll have to do the same. I want to start by talking about a issue that needs to be brought to light, and that is a group of people who feel the need to harass and bully people because of some underlying hatred. The motive for this document is not to protect Piper like it was claimed to by someone who I will not release their name just to give them the fidelity of not doing that, but it was made to defame. If these people who had produced this document, who their names again I will not say, I will give them the fidelity of not sharing their names, but if the people who produced this document were acting in good faith for the benefit of Piper, then Piper would be the first person they would have contacted. If this was a subject of the protection of someone who has been compromised, then he should have been the first one they spoke to, and he is the last. And I know this because I've spoke to the party that produced this document directly. This is not hearsay. This is a credible source because this is a source that produced it. I am sick and tired of the immaturity of this community. And let you guys in on a little secret. I do not know the exact reasons. Well, I do know the reasons why Vin decided to close the server. But can you imagine, maybe just for a second, why do you think he might not want to run this community anymore? Can anyone think for a moment that when people act like this exist, these people who, by the way, I'll say this about them, almost all of them are banned. That's one thing, by the way, typically leave out about the people who make these documents defaming people, is that they're not people who are acting in good faith. They're acting in malice and hatred to defame people. When I when I when I heard that basically not even was to even contact Piper initially to see if this was really true, and that it was that the fact that they're saying that they're trying to do this to protect Piper, yet they're not even speaking to him. There is no good faith about that. By the way, let me start by saying this is not a conversation about pedophilia. This is a conversation about trying to be vindictive and white knighting yourself because of petty drama. The information that was provided by friends of Vin who basically had a falling out and don't like Vin. Okay. And I had inquired to this person who I was speaking to. Again, I'll give them the credibility and I will give them the fidelity. I will give them the fidelity of not sharing their name. But this person who was associated with this group of people who produced this document had claimed, again, that that the thing is, I had inquired with them. I said, was there any proof of any sexual activity prior to the age of 16? And there wasn't. And I said, well, certainly if you're going to make that accusation, you would probably assume that there would be, but there isn't. But that again is besides the point. This thing has been the biggest sham I've seen in my life. And look, guys, I'm not, there's a, you, and you guys know, I very rarely get up here and speak my mind. I never do. I speak my mind on MSC things because this is the MSC Discord. But we must speak as a community here that this stuff is ridiculous, regardless on where you stand. If people are being targeted for by people for to be sexually exploited, to be harassed, to be doxxed, to be DDoSed, then certainly if they need to be protected, then certainly they would come out and ask for that protection. So people going out of their way to assume they're there to protect Piper, even though he has no problem with anything that's going on, is a proof that not only is this just for a vindictive motive, but it's disgusting in nature. And let's also keep in mind that, by the way, if this really was an attempt to protect Piper, leave it to the police. Don't leave it to spreading documents around, because you know why? It's always been an attempt to try and, get the moral high ground, to always basically try and just jab at Vin. And I'm not going to say that this is the case, so don't quote me on this. I'm not saying this is the case, but I can imagine, this is a guess by the way, that the reason why these documents are being produced in the first place without even speaking to Piper, or it's just the general fact that they are being produced, is because they're just trying to get a jab because they got banned. Okay, I'll say it. I feel like people produce these sorts of things not in good faith, but just because they're banned. And I think we need to speak as a community that regardless on where you stand or whether you like fucking Piper or Vin or not, you can think they're bastards. Stand on principle. If people need to be protected, and if people need to be safe from people who are malicious, then certainly they'll reach out to you. But kind of appearing out of nowhere, the big shadow figure, hello, injecting yourself to affairs that don't matter, so, making bold accusations. It's ridiculous. And let's also speak on a wider subject here. I am sick of stupid little kids making bold accusations that they have no calls to make. I have heard 15, 16-year-olds call I've been called a pedophile. These baseless accusations on everyone. It's like it's the name game. It's like you get banned, that guy's a pedophile. I was in a sit once with a guy named Joshua Purcell. And the guy RDM'd me, and he was brought into a sit. And then at the end of that sit, he was claiming Marshall's a pedophile because of his Steam profile background. I am sick of it. And this is the reason why I'm having this conversation, because this community of Gary's Mod and this internet culture around this Half-Life 2 has a fascination to try and act like that they're Chris Hansen. You're not Chris Hansen. And most of the things that are on Half-Life, at least in the Impulse community, from what I've seen, by the way, I'm not talking about other things, but from what I've seen, have been utter shams on Impulse. The accusations that people make are ridiculous. And by the way, I'm not someone who says that if there is real valid evidence that I'm just going to disregard it. Dr. Pepper 10, as we may all know, is a prime suspect on someone who should be defamed for what they've done. Okay, and I want to make that very clear that people like me and Fiddle and other staff members and various servers, whether it be in the MSC, Impulse, and other communities, have taken steps to really rip that guy a new one and get him fucking banned on Impulse. In fact, I'll even go as to say that I actually found, in fact, no, I'll give the credit where it's due. There's a person in this VC who can know with certainty that I've taken a hard stance on that. If whoever the person here is in this VC, you know who you are because you reported it to me and I took action on it. So whoever is in this VC, I'm not going to say your name, but you are in here and you know that me and other people take that stuff seriously, and so does the Impulse staff as well. So I want to make that clear, that I'm not basically giving a pass like, oh, it's okay, to be a pedophile. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is people in this community like to throw it around willy-nilly like it's just some little oh yeah, you're a pedophile. Like it's such a casual thing is sickening, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. And I ask you guys that if you stand on any principle, that you will realize that if people are acting in good faith, they will not release a document. They will inquire with the person who's supposedly the victim. They'll even ask if this person even wants to talk about it. Here's also another thing. If this was something that let's say Piper did actually get groomed, why would you expose that to everyone? Certainly you would want some confidentiality, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you want to report it to the proper designated authorities? Wouldn't you? Because let's be honest here, guys. If someone's a pedophile, wouldn't you want them to be locked up? Because the reason why they don't is because it's just a sham. It's just a defamation campaign. I'm sick of it. And I'll say that someone was alluding to that, oh, Larson, you better be careful when this document drops. People might hate you. Hate me for what? For saying it's a sham? I don't care. Call me out on it. If that means that I'm a fucking pedophile because I said that it's just a baseless accusation, then fine. I guess that supposedly means I am then because I said that there's no good faith, there's no hard evidence, and the person who's the victim literally says it's a complete hogwash. Oh, what now? Is Piper hypnotized? Is, Vin, ooh, you're hypnotized. You can't think independently. Oh, I guess Piper certainly doesn't know what he likes, right? I guess Piper just, is just under this Vin's mind control. Ooh, he doesn't know better. We have to save him. Like one of those episodes of, like those, I don't know if you've seen that show, like the polygamy show where they have to basically sneak the wives out of the window. It's not like that, dog. I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. I don't care where you stand on this. I don't care if you like Vin or hate him. But when I saw this, and it sickens me. It just sickens me. And also, by the way, why was I one of the first people to find out first? I'll tell you why. Because I happen to be the community manager on Landis. And so I could tell when Larson McFerrin is told about this. By the way, I don't matter in all this. I'm just a person. I have no bearing on this. I don't care what Piper or Vin does. And all that stuff has nothing to do with Larson. But the fact that someone told me, you know why? Because I'm the community manager. So I can try to basically take action on Vin. Disgusting. From what I've seen, it has been no good faith. It is the only reason why I know is because they're going to try and send us to other communities. And let's talk about Light Networks for a second. That community is a product of the disgusting nature of Impulse. And most of the people that me and Fiddle and Fetor and all these people who came prior have tried so thoroughly to punish have flocked to that community in droves. I'm sick of it. I am sick of people who are minges, who have been banned off of Impulse, who have this hatred resonate with them. You guys, mostly people have no idea about these people. Most of you people have no idea the personal things that these people have done throughout their time on Impulse. But I need you to listen to me carefully because I am saying this because I want you to know that these people are acting in bad faith because there is a hatred. There is no good faith. There is a hatred and there is an intent to defame. I have no stake in this. I must reiterate this now and again. I have no stake in this. This does not matter to me. But I have, as a community leader, at least the leader of this community, and people who know the situation, I hope you guys can all agree, and we mustn't stand for people throwing baseless accusations. I don't think Cameron Kess or Ned Dooley or Daniel Falls or Creamy or frickin' Fiddlesticks would like it if I pulled something from their personal lives and then basically made some claim on it. I don't think any of you guys would like that. It's disgusting. If Piper had claimed that such a thing had happened, he would speak about it. But he hasn't. And that is why he is now being harassed by people because these people who have produced this document feel the need to white knight. And it is disgusting. I do not care if you are friends with any one of the people who produced this document, but I ask you that if you are, you need to seriously rethink who your friends are because I am sick of seeing this council of people defame and produce all these various documents. And by the way, let's also talk about Vixie. I won't speak or say that what he did was good, because I don't think it was. But let's talk about the motive. Motive. Why is it their job to produce it? People who were banned from Impulse, people who don't play on Impulse, produced it. Why? Because they so thoroughly desire to still have an impact on the community because they cannot let go. And this whole thing speaks on a larger issue for people, the immaturity of people. It's all, I don't know if you guys know too much about philosophy, or not philosophy, excuse me, psychology, but people's actions usually resonate from a deeper desire. And that desire to produce these documents, that desire to try and inject themselves on affairs of servers that they're banned from, or people that they have no relation to, or things that don't concern them, is a deeper It's a deeper feeling to try and still be involved with the community that people claim they don't care about. And it's also you see this type of immaturity for people who are like, I'm leaving Impulse, I'm leaving Impulse, and then 2 days later, hey guys, I'm back. Haha, aren't you guys glad I'm back? It's the same sort of um, it's the same sort of behavior. Of course, doing that is just immature, but making a document to defame someone's leagues differently. But again, these documents that have come out, whether they're true or not, which I'll say for the Vixie thing, there's a little bit of there's a little bit of things there, but again, the motive hasn't changed. It's always been to defame and trying to eject these people who simply just have done bad things on impulse, who cannot let go. They cannot let go, and they still won't let go, even when the server's about to close a month in. The motive has always been to defame, whether the evidence is true or not. In this case, though, it's not. And so that's why I felt the need to have this serious conversation with you guys, because I just can't stand by and be like, well, that was kind of crazy, wasn't it, guys? No, because someone needs to speak on this. And by the way, I want to make this clear. I'm not coming up here to speak like I'm some white knight. I'm just a person. I'm just a guy. I'm no one special. I'm just a person. I'm not like the big hero with the sword be like, I will save this situation. No, I'm just a person. And I feel the need that we must speak about this. And it is just disgusting. And light networks, now by the way, correct me if I'm wrong. I was told that they put that in their announcements. I'm not saying that's true. If that's incorrect, I want to say this for the record. If that is untrue, I retract what I said. All right. I don't know because I didn't investigate that. If it's untrue, I retract what I said. If it is true, what people have been telling me that they put that in announcements, doesn't that speak to the maturity and to the sort of what that server is trying to aim to achieve? I mean, think about that, folks. Think for a second. What is their purpose? If they feel the need to post that on a public, for the server's supposed to be for a game. Why are you involving yourself with these petty this defamation campaigns? Think, people, think. Why do you think they post that stuff? It's all about begrudging hatred. This is supposed to be Christmas time, the time where you forgive people, the time where you actually forgive people for their wrongdoings and let go of petty hatred. There's a word on my wall. I'm not going to get too ridiculous with this, but there's a word on my wall that I'm looking at my left. It's called magnanimous. And this word means to basically forgive people who you are rivals to. And this community has hatred that boils down to the core. So I ask you guys, before you guys produce death, I know you guys wouldn't, but before someone goes out and produce uh, just these ridiculous allegations, go ahead and forgive your enemies, people, because when you don't, it leads to disgusting things like this that occur. And again, I know most of you guys have no real care about this, but I'm tired of seeing it. I've seen it as a lead mod. I've seen it just happen just as a bystander. I've seen it now as the community manager for Landis, and I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of it. It's disgusting. I am not Vin's cock polisher. I am just an acquaintance of his. He is British. I'm an American. I met him on Impulse. I was his lead mod. He demoted me. We are not butt buddies. Piper, he was the head of the MRG. He left. Hardly talked to him. I have no stake in them. Don't care about them. Don't care about the relationship. But I will say that anyone who does this sort of disgusting things must be called out on it. And again, I want to say this again because misinformation and impulse is rife. People spread rumors without actually doing any real investigating. Much like these people, they did no investigating. And I'll say this again that if Piper there was an issue, he would make it known to the people he wishes to be known to. I don't want you guys replicating their behavior and going on a hate campaign against them, but I would like to ask you guys, not tell, but ask you guys to please just consider the motive of these things and consider if things are right. Because in this situation, I believe they're not. And I hope that I've thoroughly convinced you guys that it's not. This group will not be a platform for these sorts of discussions. But I felt the need to express it now because Vin is someone who we all have at least some connection to. We all know who he is. We all know who Piper is. And I don't want you guys to go after people. Do not replicate their behavior. I'm telling you this now. I reiterate, do not replicate their behavior. But we as a community need to realize that there is an ethical way how to handle things, and this is not ethical. And we must know that there are people out there who their whole purpose on this community is to defame people and is to hate on people and to cause dissension. There is people who have altered so many times, people who have doxed, people who have DDoSed, people who have said horrible things to people. And I seem to find often that these people who do these horrible things and seek to harass people seem to always be on the same side. And they seem to be on the side of people who do these sorts of things with these documents. Make no mistake, I am not saying that these people who have made these documents are the same people who let's say alt or DDoS or mass RDM or just basically harass people. But I will say that there definitely seems to be an association. Again, make no mistake, I am not calling these people out. I will give them the benefit that they have not given to Piper and Vin. I will leave their names unknown to you. And that can be left to the private discussions that you have with your friends. But we must realize that this sorts of behavior and these sorts of white knight campaigns to inject people to for people who are just third party banned users who have this hatred to inject themselves into affairs because of Vin's buddies who basically don't like him, so they go and try to start some drama, so they go to the minges too. It, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm not feeling well, and this doesn't make me happy, so I'm feeling double worse. But I don't want any discussion about this further, but I just hope that you guys in your mind can have the critical thinking skill to at least consider what is the best course of action for conflict resolution. And let's be honest, if there really was such a problem, what's the best way to go about it? Is it to talk to the person and to ask what their beliefs are, or is it to basically, uh, you know, put yourself in a situation that doesn't involve you, release a document with slanderous claims, and basically spread that everywhere? Think about that, folks. That I know that's a very hard question to answer, but think about that. Is it A, talking to the person who apparently this is the crux around to protect Piper, or is it to let's basically make a document, let's ask Piper last? And by the way, I want to make that clear. They did not ask Piper first. And I know that for a fact because I've spoken to people who've made this document. So I have nothing more to say, but the only thing I ask of you guys as people, as rational human beings, is to think for yourself, what is going to be the best way how to resolve a conflict reasonably, and what is going to only cause conflict and hatred and dissension and malice. I certainly hope that you guys wouldn't want those things. And if you do, I don't really know why you're here because I wouldn't want you here if all you're here is to cause problems. I don't really think I have much to say. I don't want any more discussion about this. All I ask is that you think about if you were to find yourselves in people's shoes, if there really was a real problem, because this wasn't a real problem, by the way, it was a sham. All right, it was a sham. What would you do? And I hope you guys know. I think you guys are old enough, at least most of you guys are old enough to realize that there's a right way and a wrong way how to handle things. And this is the wrong way. And you know what the biggest irony of this is, folks? Do you know who this hurts the most? The person who the same document it sought to protect. Piper and Vin, or rather Piper specifically. The same document that was meant to basically protect Piper is the same document that now has brought him so much sadness and so much frustration. Isn't that ironic, folks? I'm not trying to be dramatic. This is a very serious subject, and I ask you to take it seriously. It's ironic. So, again, I have nothing to do with this, but we have to talk about this, and we did. Conversation over. A meeting about the MSC will probably happen in a few days. I am working on a Half-Life 2 server. I am not going to commit to the MSC moving there. We'll see where it goes. I don't want to speak about the MSC or anything about this today. If anyone wants to talk to me privately about this, though, I'll do that, but in a public way, I won't. Um, if you wish to speak to me, you can come to my DMs. As always, if you have a problem or an issue with me or about something I said or about anything or just any questions, you can direct them to me personally in a VC. Um, I don't want you guys going out there and being like the vigilante to try and fight this. But all I ask is that you kind of just think about this and really sincerely have a moment to ponder, you know, the impact this has on people and that people were actually harmed because of this silliness, because of this hatred and just this desire for people to always try to, have the final word in for people who they just can't let go of. For instance, Vin with these people who are no longer an impulse. So, conversation over. I need to take some medicine. I'll be in my office if you need to speak to me. Thank you.